Hello and welcome to Investing Confidential. It's been a while. Um, had a lot of been busy with my company, merged my company, but I'm back, and market just keeps going up. It doesn't matter. We're in an election year. Uh, Things have to go well for the incumbent party. So data, everything you're seeing is positive. But if you're living the reality, the everyday reality, like everyday America, you know things aren't positive. Okay, gasoline's come down, you know, but food hasn't come down. Still cost $7, $8 for a pound of hamburger. You go to a restaurant, you're gonna get skewed by the prices. I was in Manhattan. I'll tell you how bad things are. I was in Manhattan a week ago, and one of my favorite restaurants take place called STK between Fifth and Sixth Avenue. Great place. Used to be packed, packed. Thursday night, big night in New York, constantly packed, everyone there. But as I walked by, I saw a woman standing outside with a cardboard. Like literally, they hired some woman off the street, literally off the street, and she had a cardboard thing. She, both sides of her saying, "Happy hour, $4 a drink." This is a place that they'd wreck you over the coals. $15 for a beer, $25 for a mixed drink. That goes back 10 years. Now they hired someone off the street to try to harp their $5 or $4 or $5 happy hour. That restaurant's doing well? Nope. Nope. Can't be. Go in there, grab a steak, a drink or two people, $250 easily. This is insanity. That to me told me that New York is doomed. And as you see, what you're watching here is something I think I'm gonna do these videos 100% of the time using this debt clock because this is all that matters. I think one of my first videos I predicted will be coming up to $1 billion a year in, $1 trillion a year in interest. We're now at 1.3 trillion 12 months later. This is what you're going to see. You thought inflation was an issue? It is. But wait till you see what deflation does. Because as a consumer, well, the U.S. is a consumer economy. All the consumers, they're worried about food prices and all prices of houses, prices of cars, all this. But you know, the only thing that keeps these people borrowing money and credit cards and buying is the stock market. It's the S&P 500. The S&P, I said this before and I'll say it again. The S&P 500 is the key to everything in the world. It's no longer what it means. It's S&P 500 index is meaningless except that the powers that be need to keep it as high as possible for as long as possible. It means everything. It means consumer confidence. It means the housing market. It means the global stability. If you saw the S&P drop 25%, we'd be in Armageddon, folks, because it's the only thing that matters. It's like, Wizard of Oz. The S&P 500 index, okay, is the guy behind the curtain. It's a fallacy. And when the curtain goes back and the S&P 500 gets exposed, what it is, a meaningless index that's being manipulated by derivative traders, because that's what it is. Because you don't need if you're a derivative, you don't need 500 stocks. You need 7, 8 companies to manipulate that index. And when it gets exposed, you're going to see the rapid descent of financial assets. That's stocks and that's real estate. Now, will gold hold up? Probably. Will crypto hold up? Not crypto, but Bitcoin for sure. Because, look, no one thinks the dollar is ever going to be, the consensus is the dollar is going to remain the currency of the world. I guess I kind of believe it, but then when I see what's going on with advances and rapid advances in blockchain and stable coins and what's happening in gold around the world, people holding gold, people trading gold, there'll be very soon a digital currency backed 100% by gold. If I'm a foreigner, right? So for an American citizen, you have no issues unless you try to travel. But you have, if you stay in the U.S. and earn dollars, you have no issue. But foreigners, they got options. They got options, and certainly the dollar is not as stable. It's not this panacea that it used to be. Because you see, during this very short conversation, okay, we've added, I think, 20 million in a minute to the debt, maybe even more, 30 million. We're adding 3 billion a day. That's unsustainable. And I'm going to make you a prediction that the day the election is over, that is the top. Okay, maybe a couple days before this. Once this election is over, then all the manipulation is going to end, because it can't go on. You're borrowing too much. It's insanity, and that's it. That's the catalyst, right? You saw COVID. You saw the Trump getting elected was a massive catalyst for the market to break out of its look. If you look at the market from 2011, 2013 up 2016, it was flat to down. It wasn't. Trump got elected, boom, tax rates went down. Companies made tons of money. Then COVID hit, big correction. But then the government said, okay, we're going to spend trillions, get the economy back. That was a inflection point. Now that there's no more money, there literally is no more money. They can talk all they want, but at some point, no one's going to buy the debt anymore. The long-term debt. The short-term debt, fine. And this election will be the next turning point. It's coming. And the S&P 500 is finished. It's worthless. Don't look at it anymore. Doesn't matter. Going forward, I'm going to be talking a lot about foreign markets and fixed income, because these indexes in the U.S. are so worthless. They're so meaningless. And going forward, it's all about cash flow. Because if you can't generate cash flow, you're not going to be able to pay your debts. You're not going to be able to survive. There's nothing to hedge you with few exceptions. So debt is rising every second, every minute, every hour, every day, 3 billion. There's no stopping it, no matter who becomes president. And the U.S. is going to have major problems. We won't go bankrupt, but we'll become Japan, we'll become China, we will deflate, massively deflate. Okay, you think you made a lot of, oh, look at my house. Zillow says it's worth $1 million. I bought it for 500 3 weeks ago. Let's see what Zillow says in a year, what your house is worth. 30% down when there's no buyers. When your boss or whoever you work for says you either come in 5 days a week or you're fired. Okay, and when crime is so out of control, okay, and don't believe the FBI statistics are worthless. Crime is out of control. People in these cities are gonna say enough. I'm going to get laid off. I'm going to this. A job in Wall Street's done. I got to move out of New York City. I got to move out of San Francisco. And they can't, and no warehousing of apartments, all this manipulation is going to help the real estate market. They're going to be giving you 6 months free rent, all of these things. Interest rates going to go down a little bit, not that much, because the dollar deflation is going to be very, very inflationary. Anyway, I'm sounding like Dr. Doom because I am. So, as always, investors, be careful out there.